Well, first of all, it starts with what this story is about. The CDC whistleblower, this incredible data that he's given us. You know, it spent 7 years celebrating the best of what medicine had to offer. It also was known on the doctors for doing difficult stories, glyphosate, Monsanto, things like that that were affecting public health. But when I met Andy and I went down to see this documentary he was working on, looking at the data, looking at these interviews, and looking at what Dr. Thompson was saying, I realized I was looking at the biggest story of my lifetime. When you think as a journalist or a filmmaker, you know, you sort of think about Watergate and you know what took place there, and you kind of wonder, I wonder if a story like that will ever happen in my lifetime. And I realized I was staring at that. I was staring at something so big and scary and daunting. But the truth is I had no choice. How do you walk away from what you just saw? I mean, with this scientist, the most important, you know, vaccine study, the one we've all been pointing to, saying vaccines are safe, and the top scientist involved in crunching the numbers on it comes out and says we're manipulating data in here, we're throwing things out. I guess I'm just surprised that we're the only ones telling this story. I don't know where the news media has been on it. I don't know how they held off for a year, and then when a congressman steps up and takes the same data we're looking at, and we were all in an editing bay the moment that happened, and said, oh my God, look at this, it's happening. You know, Bill Posey's bringing this before the Congress. Certainly now the media will tell this story. We have a real congressman talking about a real CDC whistleblower, a decorated scientist that's at the CDC as we speak. You know, now it's got to be a story. Still no story. You know, as journalists, you know, this isn't a court of law. This is a film. We've made a movie about a very important story. As journalists, as filmmakers, what Andy's been doing all along is asking reasonable, appropriate questions based on what we've been told. That's what this film is doing. I can only, as a filmmaker, Andy, Polly, we can only ask those questions and ask that, you know, the society, our country, look into this matter and ask these same questions of our congressmen, of our government. And then you see the media that's come out against us saying, do not see this movie. Do not, you know, Tribeca, pull this down. I don't think we've ever seen a moment like this, that media is telling people to not see a movie they have not seen themselves. I mean, you know, I thought in order to be a film critic, you had to watch a movie to criticize, you know. But what's really at stake here is massive. It's the health of our children. It's the health of our future. But what we've seen over the last week calls into question, you know, if we can't ask these questions, then we really have to question the health of our democracy. And that's what I think we all have to do.